Right, hello, hello. Go. All right, there we go. Sorry, I had to move some things around. All right, so we'll see how today goes. Voice is starting to go out a little bit. It looks like I caught what the everybody else had last week. I thought I had something before, but definitely more coughing today. So I can thank my mother for getting in the car and coughing on me on Saturday. Yeah. Anyway, obviously, a lot went on yesterday. Powell came out with an extremely weak statement. Um, I wish I could say I'm surprised. I still think it was the wrong thing to do. He left the door open, but overall, I think it was a really, really weak statement. Um, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people were saying it's going to look really, really bad if we are forced to raise again. But basically that the labor market is slowing down. Some of the things that he changed were are solid to strong. You know, and some minor things that were changed that were most people considered more hawkish. That there was kind of an advance forward, but they think there's going to be a huge drop off in labor. Is kind of what the rationale was. So again, overall, weak dollar statement. You're seeing it, appear across the board. Um, see, you're seeing the euro dollar up 135, 114, dollar yen down 120. Again, that one makes sense. That one's helpful. Dollar Swiss 67, dollar CAD down 111, kind of big. Aussie dollar up 100. Again, big move there. Aussie pound, I'm sorry, not Aussie pound. Euro pound up 30. Again, we got with the pound data came in, and you're seeing again. We mentioned that yesterday, and then pound yen. What shows do they have at this point? Didn't they just release plans to borrow? Yeah, yeah, they did, Neuro. Um, yeah, um, yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is, again, they mentioned things like housing, right? The fact that Powell is talking about the 8%, loans, and Jamie Dimon is out there saying that people can't, they're getting adjustable rate mortgages, which if you think about it, if you get an adjustable rate mortgage right now, yeah, the lending cost is really, really high on it, obviously. But is it going to adjust up or down? Right? I don't think we're raising interest rates any higher than 8, being at 22-year highs. So it should obviously head back in the other direction. It's just the timing of it all. And your mortgage payment will go down, but you're probably buying smaller because it's more expensive right now. Um, but they said it's keeping people from moving. Also, there was mention yesterday from a couple different sources, people talking about, the COVID recovery money is gone. It's not out there anymore. So a lot of these people that were holding out, again, some of the job data is kind of skewed because people are still holding out for these big, big sums of money to jump. And guess what? It's gone. That ship has sailed. It doesn't exist. The companies have hired and gotten the people that they want. And at this point, they're not paying big money for it. If they, if you already didn't go, it's too late. Ship has sailed. So, yeah, they said that's also affecting it. Now you're seeing right now unemployment claims slightly higher, but is there really much difference? 7,000? No, not really. So it's a little bit, but it's just kind of lumping back into the overall gains. Now the pound data today is again very, very interesting. Um, it's funny. People are saying it's much too early to consider rate cuts, right? So we knew that the pound wasn't going to raise. No, it's too late. You need to wait. Yeah, I'm pissed. I'm kind of pissed at Kip today. We were at practice last night. I don't know if you guys know this or not. Like I collect ants. Not collect, but like I have a few ant colonies. It was a fun hobby that I got into during COVID because I could like go out and walk around, and it was a fun little hobby. I had a colony for 2 years that I grew from like just a single queen all the way up, and it was a pretty decent one, pretty active. They were like pretty fun. You could feed them, and they would all come swarming out. It was pretty fun. Yeah. Melissa left Kip upstairs by himself last night. He grabbed the top of it and yeah, dumped it all over the floor. And she's like, "Oh, I try to do the best I can to pick some of them up, but I vacuum most of them up because you said it was going to die." I was like, "Yeah, once you wreck a colony's home, it pretty much dies, but vacuum them up." I'm like, "What did you do?" She's like, "Well, I threw them in the trash." I'm like, many of them would have made it through the vacuum, and I've still picked 5 or 6 off the floor today. But yeah, so I'm a little pissed at little man today. I was like, "Well, there goes 2 years." So like, thanks, mommy, for watching. But anyway, BOE's much too early to consider rates. That was considered a hawkish statement. So a lot of people didn't think that they would raise. Again, I think that was the overall consensus in there. But the fact that they mentioned it's much too early to consider cutting rates, people took that as wow, there's still more to go, right? Not necessarily raise, but again, the opposite end of the spectrum, where in the United States, we are saying hey, maybe the end of 2024, we're kind of looking at what cuts would look like next year. But it's, far ways away where people in the UK are like, hey, listen, you're hurting us. We're already in a recession. You got to start cutting rates. Again, it's a little bit harder of a battle over there. So, an interesting kind of difference just over the pond. And a statement like that, like it's much too early. I mean, obviously, the United States, it's not even a thought right now. And Powell said it yesterday in his speech that cutting rates is not even on anybody's mind. We're not even remotely like not even an iota of thought or belief in that one right now. Be it when Bailey makes that same comment, it's considered hawkish, right? So interesting difference between the two. For the rest of the day, we really won't get much data. Overall, um, indices are in the green, which I think is again having it cut that way, fine. We mentioned, and again, we can just kind of go over to VIX area wise. VIX obviously down, all that data is off. The dollar obviously down, all the indices are up. Your commodities, minus natural gas, they're all up a little bit. But look at gold and silver, right? We mentioned it was kind of like a double edged sword, but we thought short either way, right? The reason why is because if they're not, again, there's we're going to go farther. We're going to be harder on inflation. We're going to kill inflation. We're going to raise. There's many reasons why, but yet indices are taking off because again, they're not going to feel that additional pressure there. But gold and silver not rallying the same exact way, right? They are a smidge up versus the Russell up 1.84, right? 1.81. So yeah, a little different there. But I mean, overall, looking at the dollar, again, we talked yesterday. It's funny. We were like, okay, if we break this 106.61, go. And, we said, hey, listen, there's an area of buyers here. And it's almost kind of like a little Harry Potter trade, right? Yeah, buds, go, go. Look at that. And we gapped to it. We came down, we went back up, and then it continued to push lower. So, I mean, we're still down at 106, right? We're still down at that 106 level, a little bit lower. I keep looking on the floor. I found like four or five. Last night I found two or three stragglers. I found two downstairs, and I found five this morning. But I was like, you dumped ants on the floor, and you don't expect them to be in there. So I keep looking down. Kip keeps finding them for me. He starts screaming. He's like a bloodhound right now. Um, yeah. But with this pushing back down again, with the 106 level, there are some buyers over here. I wouldn't be surprised if we pull back up a little bit. Although a weak statement, again, it comes back to some of the geopolitics of everything. And again, is the dollar a safe place or a dangerous place to be? It's still safe. Again, we are not at a stage even remotely close. We're holding it here for a long time. We're going to continue to crash inflation. Other countries, it's actually coming to their central bank and be like, okay, when are you going to start cutting? Right? When are you going to start cutting? We're not at the when are you going to start cutting phase yet. It's still, are we going to get one more raise out? Right? Um, Other countries are leaving that door open to potentially raise one more time. But the reality is, besides the United States, there's not many other countries out there that can really not justify, but be able to handle, right? Be able to handle another raise. So yeah, kind of where it's at. Um, as I said, all the indices in the green, absolutely understandable. And again, um, there are things coming down the pipe that we're not looking at. Powell brought up a few. Jamie Dimon in an interview with Yahoo brought up a bunch. Number of people out there have brought them all up about the things coming. But wouldn't actually be surprised if we have a little bit of a rally today. What is this? Just news. Oil flat amid opposing trends. Yeah. So yeah, oil overall in the commodities sense. Again, you see natural gas down. We had the big surge from cold, and now it's obviously starting to work its way out. Not as cold. Back down to that the 343. Oil up just a smidge, and again, it's getting dangerous. Again, I guess we mentioned it yesterday. There was a brief thing. I've heard a lot more on it that, like, I guess a refugee camp was now bombed because there was tunnels underneath. Allegedly, there's tunnels of Hamas all through Gaza. Um, but if you're willing to go through a refugee camp to get to it, you got to start questioning things. So I don't know. Yeah, it's getting even scarier. Getting even scarier. And the amount of opposition to anything in Gaza is, yeah, it's getting more. Again, internationally, it's starting to build even more. And Joe Rogan, everybody knows Joe Rogan. Um, you know, love him, hate him. Joe Rogan made some comments yesterday, day before as well. Also in relation to it, that he said, "Is this the first time ever in his life that he's actually been really concerned about, person sending that nuclear bomb up in the air. That he's like, I've never been super concerned, worried, and this is the first time in my life I can truly say that I'm worried that we are one finger push away from the world changing forever. And I don't think he's wrong. I don't think he's wrong. Um, but gold and silver, obviously both hovering, again, below that 185 mark we talked about yesterday, hovering at 22.85, being below that 23 mark as well. So yeah, Aussie dollar. So yesterday at 10 o'clock, we took a little bit of a bounce. And again, we knew what was going to come. You can see it loaded back up again. And funny enough, we said, okay, what happens from here is going to matter. It did. It went down. It loaded up. It found the buyers. And what did it do? Whoosh, took off. Yep. I mean, again, I said watch an hour and a half beforehand. There you go. It loaded up, came back in, and started to move a little bit, but we're sitting right in the area of buyers. So, um, right now, I think the most important thing on this one is to find a top on there. Overall, think of it this way: is the Aussie economy in a better position right now than where we are in the United States? And the answer is no. It is obviously seen as dollar weakness, but for the most part, it's dollar weak, but everybody kind of knew what was going to happen, right? Is there any big question about, um, you know, the general consensus was, hey, listen, it's in. They're not doing anything, but yet we saw all this continued dollar weakness, which means a lot of the market movement yesterday before the news came out, right? Before here, was the overall market. It loaded up, and then when people got in, we have the retail trader mentality now. Because again, remember, the market pretty much was like, yep, they're absolutely holding it. So it was already actually priced in. So this is more that retail trader reaction as people try to continue to play this. It should deteriorate back to the downside. Now, we're up to levels up here. We had a small little level here, and you can see it hit it, bounced, and then chunked through it. It had some problems in there. That was an old level. You can see above this is what we're playing with right now, right? There's not a lot up there. I guess there's a small level that kind of was front run. Here, let's just throw this on there. A little small level up top. Again, it's been here multiple times. So a little bit more dangerous there. All right, we'll just take this off. But that's kind of what we're playing with. And again, you see that it hit bounce, came through base, and went lower. At this point, I'd be looking for a reversal. Now, how big of a reversal, I think, is going to be the big question. We're going to leave that on right now. So looking at where reversals could be right now, the 23.6 for an extension, I don't think it's a great one. I don't think there's enough there. Um, right here may be a base, right? We may base in here, and is there potential Harry Potter? It could be. It's going to depend on what the base looks like. Something along those lines, pushing back down to this level here, I think is probably not bad. There's no fib support in this one, so you're not going to have any, really algorithm assistance on this one. Down near the 50, there is a little bit more, and I think looking at a zone, and again, this is kind of where the news pushed back to. I think it's important as well. Um, and then we have a zone here that's been hit a few times. I'm going to remove it right now just to get kind of more of a cleaner, get a cleaner entry in there. How much? Let's see. 10 to 30 in there. No, it's a little deep. 13. Hmm. I don't like the top yet. So this red candle's 13 pips. I don't love the formation of it, but if we come down and start to base and pull back, there could actually be a short there. 13 is not the worst amount of risk in the Aussie dollar. It has a 62 pip daily ATR, a 26 hour or a 26 pip 4 hour ATR. So, it has some room to run. Um, you know, hmm, I do like the reversal. If we can get a base in here somewhere, here, somewhere in here, um, I think taking this one short back down to this 63 flat, maybe even a little bit lower, I think is probably a decent trade. Um, put this right here. I want to mark this one off so bad. I really want to mark this off and be like, yeah, there you go. There you go. Um, I just don't love the formation of it. What I don't like about it, just so you guys understand, kind of where I'm coming from with it. Um, I don't like that the green basically went up and then it was immediately retraced by the red. That they're almost the same exact candle. Um, it's not a bad short. If we can get a base in there, give me some type of a confirmation, get me through that 10:30 time frame, right? Maybe if we pull back, maybe we push it up here. Maybe this is going to be its rally point, and again, we'll have a fair to go higher. Kind of we peaked up and we came back down, and then we have this kind of piece right there, and then that's where we pull the trigger south. Something along those lines. Maybe it looks like that, right? Maybe that's what we're looking for. Is that? Um, It's not bad. It's not the worst out there, trust me. And again, if we go from the higher level, if we pull the trigger right here, um, we would have enough room for 1 to 3. So I do like Aussie dollar short. I do think it turns in reverses today. Again, it's getting no help from it's getting no help, right? It's getting no help from gold at this point, and I don't see it helping a ton. Aussie yen also high. You can see the Aussie yen again. It got a little bit of a proxy play. This one hit early and pushed back down. Again, we talked about a potential roll, and what did it do? It loaded it up. It went straight down, and then what did it do? It took off. So again, watch an hour and a half ahead of time. What did it do? And just held. Um, for the takeoff point. So, funny enough, it came back up and then used it on the side and then kind of tried to front run off of it twice. I'm going to remove it right now just to get it a little bit cleaner. And kind of the same thinking. We're hitting a level, and again, is it my favorite level? No, but it did push it pretty deep. It is hitting it up there. We do have a red, green, red in right now, so it's almost. And I like this one better because the green can is a little bit better. I'm almost wondering if this is what happens. It comes back up, we go, and then it comes back down again. So, um, if we come down and we move sideways, so I mean, there's your one potential scenario. The other one is if we just start to flatline in here, right? If we start to flatline, we could also take it down south. And overall, we're looking to get short this one, looking for a profit target coming in approximately there. That's where we have buyers coming in, um, right at that level right there. So this would be a green and a black. um, yeah, I definitely can. I can definitely feel it in my lungs. So we'll see if I'm around tomorrow. Crazy part is, Crazy part is, if I am getting this, I need it to hit me hard tomorrow because I need to be recovered by Sunday. I have 9 games that I'm refereeing on Sunday. And they're already like, we are so shorthanded. We need people. Does anybody else know anybody that refs? Like they are so shorthanded. They're calling other organizations. Um, so yeah, I cannot back out of them now. Yeah, I think get the base, pull the trigger, look for 96 at 12. If we start to pull back up again, it's that kind of fair to go higher type scenario, and look for this one short as well. So either of those two are decent. Euro dollar. I mean, there's kind of we talked about again getting through with a bit of a Harry Potter, and it hit, and then just based here, and then what did it do? Took off. So we came up, we based, we chopped back and forth, and then at 5 o'clock this morning is when this one really took off again. We were calling for it, breaking through a level in there, and you can see we went all the way up to the reversal up top at 106.64. So plenty of opportunity in this one. I was actually looking here. I was actually looking for more of a pullback in it. It didn't occur. It was kind of like, hey, you know what? We broke this one. Come back and grab it. Um, but what did it do? It stabilized itself and then all the way up. So nice little runner. I mean, this one here was about 37 pips, and we hit it, and it's turning back again. It was off the 106.64 yesterday. We talked about it. It's already a little bit deep for me to tell you that, like, hey, you get into this trade now. It's already 20 pips deep. So, um, again, depending on where you drew, how much do we have on this one? I don't remember. Yeah, we talked about 12. We said we could shrink this one a little bit by going to the green if you needed to. I can throw that on. The problem with this one too is going to be this little hiccup right here. But 1 to 3 is only sitting right there, so it's not super far. Had you used the area top, had you used the top of the green there, it shaved 2 pips off, so it's at 11. 1 to 3 is sitting right there, which is a better trade setup because it's right where the pullback was. But we'll see. I mean, right now, again, it's almost that 10 o'clock time frame. We should be reversing a little bit, but if anything, This should have been your profit target, not necessarily an entry, because we had mentioned it here. Take advantage of this racetrack, and it's already up, and it's already starting to reverse back down again. So, euro pound. So euro pound, I don't believe it's out. No, it got really, really close. It made it to 2.96. So right now, obviously, it's pulled back a little bit. Right now, it's sitting at a 1 to 3.5. The problem with this one, and I think we mentioned it yesterday, there's your 1 to 3. We knew the profit taking was going to come in probably a little bit like right there. Right here. I'll put it down here so we know that I'm not cheating on this one. We'll copy and paste point 1, and we'll put it where point 2 is. And where did it turn? So everybody see. Right there. Right. And actually, hold on. This side's a little bit off. So here, I will grab it in the middle, and I will put it up, and it's right at the bottom of the green candle. And you see where it turned? So again, a lot of this is understanding how to pick where profit targets are. So had you adjusted this 1 to 3 just a little bit, right? Because again, that's where you would expect buyers to step in, and they did. And had you adjusted it here, it would have been a 1 to 2.9. Would that have been an okay trade? Yeah. I mean, it's only 22 pips. We're not talking about a ton, but there's your base, there's your pullback, and there's your go. And again, this is why it's so, so important, particularly when you have 5 candles like that. You know, but there's buyers there. And again, the market doesn't care, right? There's your 1 to 3 exactly. And you would have missed by pipettes. Why? Because of what you see here in price action. Okay. So again, make sure you know where your targets are. So if you had this one as a target, you're up 23. If not, you're only up by a little bit. Doesn't mean it won't go all the way. But I will say that's a decent level for a reversal, particularly because, again, there was news involved with it this morning on the pullback. You know, just be cautious. I think it's not. Can't be many left anyway. Um, yeah, and I'm kind of like, if I would have found the queen, I'd have been good. The queen and enough workers, I think I could have brought it back. But pretty sure there's no queen. Um, Without her, it's hard to have a colony. So hopefully you guys got out of this one on time. Again, worst case scenario, just take it off now. There's no point in holding it, risking all that profit. All right, so where we are with euro yen. So euro yen, you can see there's a lot of problems up here. This is one of those ones. I mean, we've driven up this morning in there. Now the question is, will we get some yen strength rolling back into the market? I was kind of hoping we hit it yesterday. Obviously, 160 is a big deal. It is a 50% retracement as well. It is chopping back and forth, so it's having a really, really difficult time. Looking at where we started the market this morning, would have been right here. Okay, so it's pretty much been straight up, and we ran kind of into a little bit of a barrier. You can see it has not gone out, went in there a little bit. It's positive right now. The hard part about this one is, again, we do have that zone up there. How much is this? I forget. Yeah, it's 20. So it's not the worst trade. Yesterday morning, we were sitting kind of over here, and we're like, yeah, we'll see how far down we can go. We'll see what the entry looks like, and it's not a horrible entry. It's not the worst. 20 is a little bit deep on this one for me. It goes there. It's a little bit far on the opposite side. Again, this is more of like one of those 1030 reversal trades, being the 160s involved in there as well. But it's going to need a little bit of help. And I hate saying rely upon the yen, but I mentioned it yesterday. I am more on the belief right now that it's more of a we are more in a yen weak type environment, right? If that makes sense. And the reason why I think that, um, I just think the yen is so out of whack right now that we've heard some comments, but no one's been happy with the comments. And I think eventually they'll make a comment that people are like, okay, yeah, I like that. That's good. But right now, again, this is a 20 for 60, 21 actually for 65. If you want to go to a lower time frame, you can also play this one this way and say, okay, well, actually, you did get the red, green, red. You had a red, green, red, and it pulled up. So yeah, technically, I guess you would have got stopped, but you could have adjusted. If you dropped to 15, you actually could have adjusted your entry a little bit over here as well. Um, Again, your base came in, your last touch was there. So you could have actually adjusted your risk just a little bit there, right? If you really wanted to. So it's hit it. The next push should be lower. And again, you need a little help from the yen. Okay, but this is what we talked about yesterday. Pound yen. All right. So Pound yen, late last night. We had mentioned this zone up here, and you can see it hit last night at what was it, 8 o'clock, 8:30, something like that. We knew we had a reversal up there. Again, using this, looking for basically shrinking it down. You can see that we had the top in there, and it's a decent top. I mean, it's a very very strong push. There was nothing accompanying on the other side, and that's what we grabbed. And it actually spent some time there, right? Right. About 9 o'clock, and again, just ground, 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 and finally pushed through the bottom. It was 6 for 25. It wasn't a very, very big trade, but it was off of a zone. And again, we were looking for that reversal from yesterday. Yesterday, again, this is pretty ugly. Chop, 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 chop. And the data this morning just goes to show you we were sitting high, and a lot of people would have looked at this saying, "Oh, we're going short." Well, after it hit here and then hit here again and then popped in there again, it's like, wow, we just hit 3 times in close succession. Not really the best short trade in there. But you can see we got a parabolic move up and a parabolic retracement back down, and we're sitting right where we were before the trade. Okay. Overall, we are looking for this one to push back down again. There is some, there is some drama in this one. I'd say run fibs from here up. You can see right around the 50 and the 61. There's buyers either way. So if you're looking for profit targets, again, first profit target would be sitting right there. Second profit target, I would put to be safe, probably right there. Those would be the two levels that I'd be looking for as far as profit targets go. Can it run down? One thing that we didn't see yesterday was this little spike. You can see what happened from 10:30. 10:30 was the reversal candle. It drove straight down and then held for 2 o'clock. So this is one of those ones. If you said, okay, well, what did it do ahead of time? You can see it did not breach the bottom. It loaded up into the area that 9 o'clock, gave us in the morning. Right, big spike up. It loaded up again for a second round, and then boom, took off. And this was a 100 pip runner. So again, nice little trade. And funny enough, again, if you would have taken the short, great. If not, it would have been a profit target on the long. Either one would have been fine. But right now, where to go with this one? I would say more bearish than anything else. Look for those two profit targets to the downside. I actually wouldn't be surprised if it goes even a little bit lower. If you were looking for multiple profit targets, I would say kind of there would be my TP1, 2, and 3. Right, right. Here, here, and there would be the three targets that I'm looking for the downside. So yeah, yeah. I don't think I would take a long down here, just for the record. Again, it did give us a very decent bottom, a strong parabolic move, a parabolic retracement just in time for it to happen again. But it drove it so deep, I would be very, very cautious about taking that again. So again, just again, use a little bit of a. Sorry. I just got another message. Um, they're like, urgent, urgent. We need more. We need people. Like, I'm already doing 9 games. I can't do any more. I don't know why he's sending it to me. Like, do you think I have a pocket full of referees? Um, so yeah, I would say bearish on this one. Look for this to push back down. 3 profit targets right there. It also coincides with what we're seeing with the yen. This one didn't move as much. We were really hoping for 84, and it really just came down and kind of stabilized in here. We didn't get as much help. We were looking for a short, and as you can see, price came up, it rallied right up. News came out, pushed back down again. So right now we are skirting between the two levels. And yesterday, we were sitting right here yesterday. What is this one? 1 pip in 24 hours. And you can see really not much, right? Down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And we're still basically in the same spot, 1 pip difference. Overall, again, we need help from the yen. I like this one to the downside. Could we see a potential reversal here? Yeah. I'm going to turn it yellow, but there's no news. There's nothing. I don't think we have what tomorrow. Absolutely, maybe the yen a little bit in here. Maybe, and then nothing. So we're out of time for this one. Again, I think the pound's in a worse place than the U.S. Again, they thwarted the talks about cutting, but any type of bad economic data, everyone's going to be like, you said no, but hello, Again, I think the pound is about to enter the next period of a downward trend. And I do think that the yen will actually get into a positive zone because, like I said, it's just way too weak against everything, and the BOJ just can't keep ignoring it. So overall, I like the pound yen short. Again, it kind of coincides with what we're going to see here. It should help bring it back down again, and really. See how we start the week. 182.54 could actually be a start for the week. And again, maybe we start again 70 pips. It's about a day, half a day's worth of movement down, but there's no catalyst right now. So we'll see. Hopefully we just don't skirt sideways more. But if we're here, this could be a Sunday start for a little bit of a rally up. Now, dollar CAD, no question whatsoever. You can see our target. Magically, what did it do? It hit it, bounced, and it started going sideways and actually started the rally back up again from the 23, as well as our profit target. So 138.32 was hit, came back up again, loaded up, and then this morning, 4 o'clock is the high, went straight down again. Now, we had a level here, and when you start seeing all this basing in here, it's looking for people. And it did. What did it do? It came down at base. It's like, oh man, there's buyers there. It went up, it grabbed the sellers that are sitting right there. It used them and then punched through, and it still needed to base a little bit before punching back down again. So overall with dollar CAD, we can take a lot of these off. The 138 is out, and again, you can see the basing in the 138. Looking to the left, the problem with this right now is we have this little step and then came back, and then came back and used that step and then went higher, and then came back, used this step and went higher. So we got a lot to chunk through right now. There is a little bit of a Harry Potter play in this one if price is able to go below 137.25, but unfortunately, it literally could turn in any of these spots. This is kind of where it was. It went deep and then it barely touched it, and that's what we're running into. The fact that it's at 10:30, it's kind of like, yeah, it could do that, right? Um, you can see the peak was literally at FOMC, right? Hit it, hit it, hit it. It's like, oh, it's going to go above, and it did, and then it maintained. So basically, from 1 o'clock to 2:30, that whole pre-time, it was sitting up in that zone. Went down, came back, and went. So right now, I would say there's one level in here. I mean, I don't love this candle. I think the candle's a little bit skewed. Again, it's a 2 candle top based on that one. But I do think, again, if we're able to rally up to this level, there could be potential for a short. Unfortunately, I think at this point, it was the race to raise interest rates, and now it's going to be the race, the race to get things back down again. Again, once once people realize that the world is not over and the retail trader gets out of the dollar trade, I think the dollar goes back up again. Yeah, I think it has the ability to go up. So, that's what we got going right now. Do we take a bounce off of this one? I'd say it's dangerous. The good things I like about it is it was kind of a news move straight up, straight down, and it just barely touched it and went. I do like that it's backstopped by the 50. That helps a little bit as well. It's 12 pips, which is not bad. Again, since the European market opened today, right? There's the European move, right? We are about 82 pips down. It's only got a 70 pip ATR, 74 pip. So it is kind of at a stage where it could reverse from that level. But we really kind of need some type of news. We need a catalyst to drive it. We just don't have it today. But we are past what a daily movement is, and again, there is a zone there. Um, I think those are the two things to look for. If we can come in here and get a green, red, green, then look for a long. But we're gonna need this, not as low, and then a break above. We're gonna need to see that, right? If it comes down and starts to base, assume there's going to be a break. It's not a Harry Potter candidate because there's another zone right here. It could take a bounce off of this one, but I'm more waiting for this one to drop. I like this one down. This is a 10 for 30 or a 9 for 27. I'm looking for more of a short coming out down here. And again, this may be actually a next week type trade. But not surprised by the green. I would like it to go a little bit lower, but punch higher. So shorts at 138.40. Shorts at 137.25. And not surprised if we start to pull back up again. And honestly, I think we probably play with this zone right here. I think there's probably a short in there. It'd be nice if we could get it. I don't know, if we punch in here. Unfortunately, it's not going to match up fib wise anywhere. So, but I actually don't think that's a horrible zone. I kind of like how this is doing that. Okay. Dollar Swiss. Yeah, so dollar Swiss. We mentioned where the profit target was. You can see it went right past where we said get profit and then popped up again, came back, grabbed more sellers, drove in, hit those people, came back up, grabbed more profit. Went a little bit lower, but this whole area, I mean, we mentioned it yesterday, this whole area, it's kind of like, oh, choppy, not clean, multiple hits. Be cautious. Again, they're still finding some small ones, but um, it's obviously building, right? We had build here, 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 all the way down. Can we get a bit of a reversal? We probably could. We probably could. Um, there's a little bit of a base in here, and again, this is just where these buyers were, right? Buyers based in here. It's like it's gonna break, and then went lower. So there's probably something there. We can adjust this one up top. We can box it in there. And I don't love this one. Let's see. Is it? It's a 61 also. Um, see that? It was at 61 at the same time. Yeah, it's bad stuff. So yeah, let this one grind. Let it grind. Um, it would be nice to get a reversal, but this one's tried. It is not. It is 9 pips. Not a horrible spot. Yeah. If it deteriorates and blows this one up, probably less of an option. That's not bad. 9 for 27. It's not horrible. Dollar yen. Okay. So dollar yen, 150 got hit again. We're at 150.27. It actually came much lower. Um, here's a trade from yesterday. So I'm gonna tell you guys. We mentioned yesterday that hey, listen, get some basing in here. Look for a pullback before the news. Right? What did it do? It based. It came down. Prior to the news, it came up. And what happened when the news came out? Right down. Right? 2 o'clock candle right there. There you go. Okay. So trade is out. Again, this was 23 for 70. Got out at 10 o'clock last night. So that one is done. Easy little Harry Potter trade. And you can see it did actually have a hiccup right there where we expect it again. This is why it's important to see where basing is, right? Rally, basing in there, punch higher. And what did it do? Here, we'll just do this one because we're going to take it off anyway. What did it run into? Right there. See? Telltale sign. Bing, bing. Came back up and then went. So again, that's why you need to be cautious when you're setting these things. Um, so right now, if you run fibs from the top, whoops, right there, you can see there's a lot of basing in here. There's a 23 here. I'd be very cautious of this one. I'm not pulling the trigger on a short on this one. You have mirror wicks on there, and it spent a lot of time there, really from I don't know 10 o'clock, what 9 o'clock, and then it just based. Again, we need yen help on this one, and again, I think this is more the dollar kind of finally trying to fight back a little bit. We'll see whether or not the dollar fails. But right now, I don't love this one in either direction. We are kind of sitting again right at the 50. We haven't we kind of used the 61.8, and we mentioned that hey, listen, you got a zone sitting right here. It's not super clean, so again, use caution with it. We were keeping the marking from the 150. Um, overall, I'd kind of like to see the dollar fail in this one. You have plenty of sellers up in here, but they're not great sellers. Again, this mirror top, I'm not concerned about. There's a little base, so it's a kind of a rally up, right? A push, a base, and it went down. So if it breaks through here, yeah, it probably comes all the way back up. I don't know that I'd use it again. It would depend on the time. Maybe if it coincides with the unemployment rate or non-farm tomorrow, it would only need to go about 80 pips. It's got a 93 pip daily ATR though, so it would have to do an entire day's worth of movement to load up for tomorrow morning. And again, is non-farm a big one? Yeah, absolutely. Um, but does the Fed know in the statements that Powell already made? Does he already know what non-farm is? Yes. So I feel like non-farm is a little bit robbed this time because of obviously the importance of what the FOMC meeting note was and the no raise yesterday. We know there was a little bit of a slowdown and maybe it counterbalances, but he knows what the number is already. So he's kind of factored that into his you know he's kind of factored it in. So yeah, be cautious. Again, I'd like to get some yen help, but I think the dollar does retrace after yesterday. It was just too much too far. Crude. Crude is not much difference. We were playing with this 83 mark yesterday. It went a little again after the inventory came out. It did punch down again and then kind of came up. And we're kind of we're not quite where we were yesterday. Yesterday we're sitting here. We're not far from it. We're less than $1 away. What do you want? Something different? Here, here. Which one do you want? Pick one. Come on. Honestly, I think this one is really just going to slow down today. What? Gecko? No gecko. All right. Well, you can go to the other room. Your happiness right now is not really important to me. Here, here, here. Watch this one. All right, go to the other room then. Um, you go ahead. You can throw your play. If you break it, it's your problem, not mine. Go ahead. Take it to the hallway. Go ahead. You go through the hallway. Go ahead. Terrible twos. Loving them. Um, so oil again, magically, it just happens to be around that 82.75 ish mark. Go. Go to your room. Go to your room. Go to your room or stop crying. Then you stop crying if you're gonna sit with me. You want daddy's phone? Then you stop crying. Otherwise, you go to the other room by yourself. Okay? Um how do we get him this? You're gonna watch Peppa, because that's what daddy has on his phone. Okay, you pick which one you want. Which Peppa do you want? Yeah, you pick which one you want. I don't care. Um, so for me right now, I think crude will kind of fall onto the wayside. Again, I still think it has a lot of geopolitical risk on there. You're watching Peppa Shorts. Okay. Um, I think tomorrow is going to be a bigger day for oil. Obviously, with non-farm payroll coming in, unemployment rate is expected to go up. And again, that's not sorry, is expected to not change. They're expecting less jobs, but you can see last time that they missed by a little bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was an overstatement and this goes down a little bit. And maybe this one comes in a little bit higher. Obviously, the ADP number wasn't great, but the non-farm number is obviously a little bit different. So last time there was a huge miss. They really didn't adjust it much at all. So there is going to, I would be shocked if there was no adjustment to the 336 as well. So, again, more people working puts a little bit more demand on oil, and I think we have the ability to go higher. If we see a pullback again, you could potentially get long. There you go. You could potentially get long for this one tomorrow. But this is a short. You have to hold it the other way. Here, hold on. Here, let me fix it. Daddy fix. You're watching a short. That wasn't what you thought it was. This one you can watch this way. Okay. You want to get down? If you're gonna sit here, you're gonna make no noise. Um. All right, get down. Nope, go. I said you can sit on daddy, but no noise. Go. Natural gas. I've had it with my toddler. If you couldn't tell. So, oh, right now. Go, go, uh, time out. I'm not doing the crying, bud. Natural gas right now. Obviously, where it is right now, we're still high. We're still inside of the channel set by this week. Is it having more issues? Yeah, we saw the big rise up. Obviously, things were going to get super cold. We said, hey, give it a day. It's probably going to collapse. And it did. It collapsed all the way back down again to where we were. There are buyers here. It pulled up, but unfortunately, with this one, with this level sitting right here, it's kind of hard to go real far. And you can see it's putting up a real big fight. Now, this is only technically the second hit, but we're on the bottom side of the curve. Unfortunately, this was news kind of, again, weather related. That weather's gone, so it's kind of correcting back again. Um, if you're looking to go long on it, I would actually probably use more the lower section here, but it's not a great level, unfortunately. It spent a lot of time there. It shot really far back and forth. There's a lot of basing in there. Um, it's not really the best level. I think overall, fundamentally for me, I'm still short this one. Again, I love the 360, but where we are right now, I do think there will be buyers. There'll be people looking at gaps. Obviously, there's some buyers in here with a big push. We've already hit it, but again, it's having a very, very big difficulty getting through. If there's suddenly magically a news release about, hey, listen, you know what? It's going to get cold again, right? It's supposed to be nice this weekend, but then it's supposed to get cold. That will help drive it. But right now, with non-farm payroll being as big as it is and the hangover from yesterday, I just don't see a lot of money over here. Okay. Gold, Gold relatively flat. Again, you can see we talked about what a move looks like, and there was your move. You can see yesterday what happened. Gold got driven down at 10:30, and then at 4 o'clock it went right back up, and we're kind of in the same spot. It's actually pushing a little bit lower. We were sitting right. 10 o'clock is right here, so we're almost exactly at the same spot. And all it did was it got a little surge higher, and boom, right back down. And then all of a sudden, the 4:30 speech, not raising interest rates, so we went right back up, but we didn't even get close. So this is how we talked earlier in the week about how important this 205 number was, and when we hit it on Tuesday morning, that was the trade of the week. We knew that 2000 was going to be high. Now the question is, how low can we actually get with gold? There are buyers down here. Unfortunately, though, we have a spike down, a spike down, a spike down. This spike actually went deeper than this one. So the next time we really have many spikes coming in is really kind of in this level right here. And it is a level. It's really ugly, though. From here to here, you can see all this trades coming back. So I would say right now, downward target wise, I would say 1965 ish. I think that makes the most sense. That's going to go by one. Okay, let's just do five. Right. I think 1965 is our kind of downside target. Do we hit it today? Maybe not today. Maybe it's a tomorrow thing. You know, there's a potential that this one will give us a little bit of a boom with not the NFP number, but um, it's I don't know. It's all right. It's all right. We're kind of in the median area right now. I think 2000 and 1965 is really the top and bottom of the sideways channel. Again, yesterday kind of went as you would assume. Um, Today, again, a little basing, but again, we cleared all this junk out, thankfully. Um, so yeah, I would say bearish still. You can see silver's not having a good a day. You know why? Because silver he came up and used 23, and we talked about how important this was. I mean, here's that 10 o'clock news yesterday. And what happened? It drove down, and then what did it do? It drove it down into kind of an again hour and a half ahead of time. It drove it down, and then again Powell's message came out, and we went right back up. And what did it do? It slammed right into 23, and that's what we had today. We got a red, green, red. It came back and used that red, green, red. Um, you can see that the green was the high. There's the red, green, red. If you move the whole box, there it is. If not, you can use the little box. It doesn't really matter each one. They're pretty much the same. It came back, used it, and now it's pushed all the way down. So there are buyers here. Again, I'll take this over here. There's buyers in this area, right? Here, here. It looks like it actually did go just a tad lower. I know that line is not straight. Let me see. Yeah, it did go just a little bit tad lower. So, but what did it do? It ran into this, right? All the same basing. So yeah, I still like silver short. Again, if we can get back up in the 23 range, great. Now at least we have a top that's confirmed, which is nice if we need to go a little bit above, because again, 23 is not it's not dead on. Um, um, yeah, I like it short. Again, if you're gonna target something, probably 2250 is a little bit deep, but I feel like we could probably get down to 2250, maybe a little bit deep. Tomorrow, there's probably a case made in here that if we can get down into this area somewhere, that we could have a potential pop for tomorrow. Again, I think the 336 is going to be adjusted down. I think it was too far. That'd be a negative number. Maybe if they don't hire back, maybe it's a double negative. In that sense, this thing higher, right? Wish we had a better base down here, though. We just unfortunately we don't. I wish it was better, but unfortunately it's not. So, it is what it is. All right, let's see what we got here. VIX again. VIX is going down, obviously, so it should. Dollar retracing back. U.S. session came online. We're seeing it pull back, but we got an area sitting really right there. So we are running into sellers right now on the dollar. So let's see what we got indices wise. Bring this down. Let's see. Could we have traded much on this one? 915 now. It did pull back. It signaled along. Again, not really a great spot. We're high. Uh, Yeah, the 9 and the 915 both came down and then punched, but it's not a great spot. So much of this movement has already been pushed in. 10:30 again. We loaded up and we held and then went higher. Again, we did exactly what we expected it to do yesterday. So not really an opening print. Again, I would say if I had to make a call, yeah, it pulled back an hour, the half hour beforehand to go higher, and it did. What we got here? Oh, we got close to 15,000. 9 went down. 9:30 actually popped and then it failed. Um, Overall, in this one, I mean, NQ is in a decent spot. We were unfortunately too high. There's no levels tested over here. We know that we had other levels here. We knew we had a piece here. We knew we had a piece here. We knew that 15,000 was looming. We have a red, green, red to signify that it's going down, and unfortunately, no great targets. Um, Only thing I'm seeing here is obviously a very emotional kind of number over here. I don't think we get this low today, right? But if we do, there is a little bit of a Harry Potter trade here. Um, but right now, not enough movement in the overnight. Decent. If we get to 15,000, I think you pull the trigger short as well. Um, Again, I think we'll be slow the rest of today looking for non-farm. YM. And again, you may wonder, why is it turning now? There's the European Open. 9:15, pulled back and hit a level and went. And this is another one. There's the bottom. You could use either one. Doesn't really matter, right? Did not breach. 9, 9:15, 9:30 came down and went all the way back up again. So again, overall, does it meet the qualifications of opening print? No, there's no confirmed level in the overnight, right? But what did it do? It loaded up straight down into a zone, just like yesterday. We saw it yesterday morning as well. Loaded up into a basing. It did not break. You can see it right there, and right on the top side. And 1 to 3 is only right there, so it blew it out of the water. It went 1 to 6 before reversing. So more than enough time. Again, not opening print strategy. Just again, it's a standard kind of pullback, looking for more buyers, and just a trend continuation based trade. What do we got, Russell? Yeah, Russell pulled back 9:15. It tried to pull back for the same thing. I'd say that this one probably missed a little bit. I wouldn't have used this one. I would have used the lower section of it, but you can see it hit and did the same thing. So, what? Give me my phone then. What do you want? I don't know what you want. Here, yeah. It's fine. Again, could you have taken this one? Sure. Did it meet the rules? No, no, unfortunately. But it's there. It's there, just so you guys can see it. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll do the drawing for today. We're ending a couple minutes early. Tomorrow, obviously, I didn't go over tomorrow because it is such a big deal. Obviously, the CAD data is very important. Will we see a reversal in the CAD? It's looking like it's going to be negative. It's going up, and again, they're not hiring as many jobs back again. Maybe there's a surprise coming in. Average hourly earnings. Again, I think that's important. People are, if you're getting paid more, you tend to spend more. What we're seeing though, and what we're hearing is that again, they're not hiring people back at those bigger numbers, so that may be a disappointment. And I think overall tomorrow, what could happen is I think this could potentially. It's not supposed to go, but um, again, it did go up last time. I don't know if we'll go up to 3.9 again. We may just hold to 3.8. But if this non-farm number, if this adjusts down to say, I don't know, 310, right? 310, 315. Or maybe no, maybe they're not as off. Maybe let's just say we'll be positive. Maybe it's only 328. It will print a red number. And then if this comes in at 157, that would be a double negative here for this. Average earnings goes at 0.2, meaning people are not getting paid more. It could turn out being a red dollar day. Pretty easy. Okay. And remember, Powell made comments about how labor has really slowed down a lot. We're definitely seeing it. He said that it's strong, but you know, Chad Johnson. This is what we have in the news. Chad Johnson is scolding Shannon Sharp for spending $10,000 on a dog. I'm sure Shannon Sharp spends a lot more than most people do on normal everyday items because he can. But yeah, it's what it is. All right. And then obviously services tomorrow as well. I don't think services dropping below 50, so it's not going to really tell us much. But I do expect actually the non-farm payroll to be negative and wouldn't be surprised if it's negative. All right. All right, let's go ahead and do our drawing. We'll give you guys, I'll give you 40 seconds because I'll be nice today since we ended a little bit early. We'll go right to the 2:30 mark since that seems to be the popular number. Ugh, so tired. Got it. I hope, you know what? Even though it's not farm hour, I hope I'm so sick tomorrow because otherwise, what's going to happen? It's going to be Murphy's Law. Saturday night, I'm going to it's going to hit me full blown. And then I'll be like, yeah, guys, I can't ref. I have RSV. Sorry, find somebody for 9 games on short notice when you can't even fill positions now. So, yeah. I don't know. Maybe they should pay us more. Maybe that's a thing. Maybe if you don't have enough, maybe pay us more, right? We actually, tournaments, we don't get paid as much as we normally do. But it's like, hey, it's not worth me. Yeah, I got multiple games, but if I'm out there for that many hours, is it worth it? Maybe not. All right, here we go. Winner of today's drawing is Ernest. Ooh, I think Neuro took it yesterday, right? Let me go back. Ernest won it today. It was Neuro. And then Will won the day before. So, yeah, so Ernest gets his 25. Neuro got stopped. I'm telling you, it's getting harder and harder and harder to maintain these streaks, right? Harder and harder to maintain these streaks these days. I don't know. That's how it's working out. So, again, all joking aside, tomorrow will be a big morning. Non-farm is arguably the biggest release, obviously minus the interest rate decision changes that are not done on a regular basis. Powell is saying it's slowing down. We're going to get a true idea of it. Again, I think the alternative scenario is, again, average earnings goes up to 0.3, non-farm comes in at 280, and unemployment rate goes back down to 3.7. We see those kinds of things. Again, the dollar should take off tomorrow. And a lot of people are going to be looking at Powell like, are you an idiot? Because, again, he does have this data. So with that, be cautious tomorrow morning. Look to see where the market moves an hour and a half beforehand. It typically will give us an idea of where the market is going to play it. And with that, again, hopefully I see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully I just feel bad for a day. And then I'll be back up to speed, full speed tomorrow. So with that, I'm out of here. Thank you guys again. See you tomorrow morning. Take care.